it's working. Good job. I got it here. I pulled it up. All right. Here we go. See some green. Well, it looks like I got one viewer here so far. All right, let's get started. All right, taking a look at the SPY this morning. We've got a couple minutes before we open here. Actually, 1 minute before we open. Trying to get everything up and running. Taking a look at the daily on the SPY. Now, this, of course, is bullish, a bullish sign that we broke that resistance level. But the Elliott wave, usually what we will see is it will come back down and it will test this 387 and then pop back up. So now the market has just opened. To those watching, SPY hit its bullish target of all things. Okay, going through the 5 things for market direction, it's actually not my favorite. We're looking at like a, according to this, we're looking at a bearish day, unfortunately. If you go to news, I would say that that is bullish. I would say that that would be a yes, that's bullish. The Elliott wave, though, typically the market will bounce off of that level. So looking here at the daily, it should come back to this and bounce upwards. And that's actually what I'm hoping. I'm actually very bullish on the market, but in the short term, and for a day trade, most likely we're coming back down here to this 388 level before going to new highs. That would be a normal progression of things. And so that being the case, of course that makes me think that we're looking at a bearish start for the day. And then hopefully it will recover and go from there. So I am going to do updates on the watch list. But looking at the 5 things, we have the first, which is news, I would say is bullish, Elliott wave, bearish in short term, 10-year bearish, very bearish. 10-year treasury yields are way up this morning. That is not good for the market. That usually means that a put is the smartest course of action. Definitely going to wait at least the first 5 minutes before entering a trade, but probably the first 10 minutes here. Let's see. Sorry, get my views taken care of here. Just to kind of wait and see what's going on there. As far as stocks, I'm looking to exit today. NTAP, NTAP is one I'm looking at. PH is one I'm looking at. TAST is one I'm looking at. The 30-year is bearish also. So that is that's the 3 out of 5. Haven't gotten my volume indicator here yet, but not my favorite. I like to be bullish all the time, but I'm looking at it and I think that we're going to have a pullback today. Unfortunately, we might end the day on a real move on that, but we will see. It looks like Wells Fargo and Bank of America both have hit their bullish targets. That's not a surprise because interest rates are way up. I expect those 2 stocks to do very, very well today. So I'm going to be looking for a bearish entry on this. I'm going to be looking for a put option today on this. So I'm going to let this flash up and then go in. As far as targets go, on the bearish side, 389.50 is a really important target. 389 is also important for support. Support 1 is 392.29, which we are below support 1 already. Support 2 is 391.06, so that's the next level after that. So I'd like to see it, flash up above that, and then to take an entry going down on that. But let me know if you agree, disagree. I mean, I of course hope that that's not the case, but I think that it's natural to have a pullback after just having such a great day and hitting all new all-time highs. And I think it'll only last for the morning. I think that after the morning is done, we shall see what happens. So this is the 5th minute of market being open that we are in, and looking upwards. I like to trade the SPY, and the reason why I do is because the options volume is so high. I'm very confident I can get in and out of my position as much as I want to. It's extremely liquid. And so that's what I look for in a stock. Now, I am going to be... if the market turns way bullish today, I think that Wells Fargo and the other would be... Wells Fargo and Bank of America would be the best to go in as far as what's on the list. So that's not surprising that they both hit their mark. Also, NLSP just hit its mark, its bullish mark, and that one was a great stock. They just got a new license, and so it passing that level that is an interesting one, definitely, to look at, that I kind of pointed out this morning. Okay. All right, so we're 5 minutes in now. Let's see what we get. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're 7 minutes in. And looking at the different options, you know, I think the highest volume was the $390 put. Okay. So, all right, I'm going to enter that put. I think it's time. Okay. So I went in on a $390 put option expiring on 3/19, and that's just the direction that the 5 indicators are saying. We still haven't gotten our 5th, but that's what I'm looking at here. Yes, I've been waiting on the SPY, and that's what I've been waiting for. And then it looks like my order for taste just filled, so that was nice. I had an order open for taste because I knew I would be, you know, in this. So sold taste. Let me see what I sold it for here. Sold taste for $7.25. So let's see what that amount was. Let's see. $7.25 divided by 689. For a 5.22% gain. So that was an insider. Pretty nice. Little 3-dayer. All right, so far on this put option, down 5.67%. So anyway, to reiterate, the 5 different things we've been looking at for news, I still think it's bullish. I think the news is good, but the Elliott wave theory, if you're looking at it today, would be a bearish day. At least the chances are higher of bearish than bullish. As far as the 10-year, we're definitely looking bearish levels. I mean, the 10-year interest rates yields are way high this morning, and they jumped too much. And the 30-year is bearish also. I have not gotten my price and volume indicators yet. You know, and you hope you're wrong, but the different levels that that I'm looking at, because I have so many stocks right now. And it did give a red indicator down here, but it quickly went away. Would have been best to wait on that, but that's okay. I'm rather confident that the trade will work out. So if you haven't entered, it's actually great. It'd be great for your trade here. You might just wait a minute here. This kind of came down and then it just bounced off of it. Oh, it looks like Wendy's is up. Parker Hamilton is up. So we got some pretty good results this morning. Taste is gone. Walmart's up. Microsoft is down. That was unfortunate. Saw insider activity on that, and then they had reports of more concerns of their security leak. which was not good. So anytime you take a bearish position in a stock, I typically like to hold it longer to let it work. Hopefully this is not one of those days where I'm wrong. My CAN alert just tripped, and so anyway, that's good. Bullish on CAN. Anyone have any questions or comments? Love to hear what you think. I definitely have a problem of not waiting long enough. First 10 minutes. I need to learn my lesson. I entered too soon on this. Okay. Okay, so again to review, I entered the $390 put. It did show a red bar there, but I didn't let it fully form. I entered too early. That's the hard thing about doing this, is that you kind of air out your mistakes. I'm glad it's moving up though, so that's good. What do I think of the market next Monday? Typically I don't have a good reading on the market until we get to pre-market, and I've looked at all the different levels and how the market's moving. But it'll depend greatly upon today. If we hit new all-time highs, that'll be interesting. Yes, Freight Max, it's so true. Everyone is quiet on the down days. That is very common. There's a lot less chat, a lot less questions. It's like just like a tomb. It's funny. It's not funny. Of course, we hope to never have red days, but they are going to happen. So, Andrew, it's looking like a put option, but being late is a blessing because I entered, if you can see my cursor right here, it was showing red and then it flashed back green. And right as it went red, I went in for a put option. And so, I mean, I'm down in it. Anyone who entered that is down 13% right now because then it climbed. But the indicators, going through the indicators, news is bullish, but the Elliott wave is bearish. The 10-year is bearish, really bearish, and the 30-year is bearish this morning. I have not gotten an alert for my price and volume, but that's not uncommon. That usually takes about 15 minutes of market being open before that comes in. So, Boogie Bomb Corey, same question. I'm in a put today on the SPY, and it's got a lot to do with the 10-year and the 30-year. And then I think early on in the day, we're going to have a rougher day. Now, I think as the day goes on, though, I think that we'll bounce off that support level and move back upwards. But here's where I think the market's going. And all you can do is just kind of take a look at things. But I think we're going to bounce off of this line, and then it's going to move upwards. And I think today we're going to see that. So that's going to be right around the 387 level, which would be a very successful trade. Now, I don't know if it'll come all the way back there, but we should see a pullback definitely off the all-time highs here today, and that's just based upon what I think. And so then I entered a put based upon that information with the Elliott wave, the 10-year and the 30-year all being bearish. That is 3 out of 5 before I even get my final price and volume indicator. Although the news and the price, number 1 and 5 have the most weight in my mind. So number 1 being bullish, I do think it's bullish that we got stimulus news, but I think that a lot of the conservative funds and all of that are thinking bearish, and so I would think there's going to be a lot of shorting of the SPY this morning. Subscribe to Tiblio. What's Tiblio? I don't even know what it is. I'm going to have to Google it now. It's an awesome tool. Interesting. Well, I'm always looking for a new tool, so I will check that out. Fuzzy used call option and got 5%. Great. And I think that's great. I think that we're going to have a really powerful trade here when this goes down negative, and it will. I mean, it's just a matter of time, but I think we're going to have a really good trade. And looking at the different bearish levels, but don't do what I did. Don't get in too soon. Let it form all the way. So this is forming a dip the opposite way. So this is a little trickier, but it's interesting now that those are showing up as red bars. But that is something that kind of happens as it moves up and down. But this is where I decided, oh yeah. Looking pretty bearish. There we go. Let's get it. That's where I kind of came in, and then it flashed right back up here is what happened. And I got kind of caught. Hopefully not in a trap, but I think my indicators should be good. See, I would wait for these to close down because I think that there'll be some scared money for sure. Also, after the market's been open about an hour, you definitely see a bunch of stop losses get triggered. And that is very, very common. So a lot of the support levels, the important levels for today, support 1 is 392.29. Support 2 is 391.06. Support 3 is 390.38. My bearish target for the day was actually 389.50. So we are well above that. Oh, yeah, my price for the put. Well, it is terrible. It's what it is, but let me go ahead and give it to you. I got the $390 put that expires on 3/19, and my average cost is $3.91 is my average cost per one. And the market's going the opposite way. Great. And then to review, I sold Taste, TAST, for a 5.22% gain. Let me just go ahead and make that notification known for everyone here. I hate it when a mouse goes to sleep here. For a 5.22% gain. All right, everyone should have got that notification. So yeah, just waiting this out. Interesting. So my price and volume indicator went call. Well, that's not good. In these situations, it's hard to know what to do, but definitely the 10-year and the 30-year are lower. But I put more weight upon 1 in 5. So a call option might be in order, but I would wait for a dip before entering a trade. Interesting. So if you wanted to enter that, I bet you can make a quick 5% on a call. Although it's a little tricky, it's not a very good entry point here. It's already up. Interesting. But we are above VWAP now. So yeah, so this is definitely a tough situation. I do not know where the market's going to go. It is very, very mixed. Air Icarus. Yes, sometimes I do. I'm not in it at the moment, but the way that I like to get companies that do Bitcoin mining, but I don't do nearly enough, and obviously it's moving up, and it's been very bullish. I worry about regulation on it, and it's just been something that has not fit my comfort level. I have in the past, but at the moment I have no position in any digital currency. For me, it just doesn't work. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I feel that if you don't understand how something moves and why it moves and what it's backed by, then it's tough to trade. And I just haven't had a lot of confidence in that. When I have traded digital currency, I have used Robinhood of all horrible things. But I mean, for digital currency, I felt more comfortable with that than Coinbase and some of the others. But anyway, I'm hearing a lot about stablecoin pays 8%. That's kind of cool. You can get an 8% dividend on that every year. And well, my put is going terrible, but I'm excited that the market is going up. That is for sure. This thing is really moving. I guess the price and volume indicator was right. So I'm right about with these five things. It's usually right. I have been getting about an 80% win rate, but this is interesting for sure. Let me take a look at rates and see if they've changed or if anything has happened as far as that goes. And let's see here. Yeah, the 30-year is up but stabilizing. The 10-year is way up, way up. So I think that's what threw me off a little bit today, was that reasoning. Okay. Well, that might be something that I look into. Draw anything. That looks really good. NEO just hit its bullish price alert. So anyone wanting to trade NEO, it has hit that. Well, okay, so I'm down for the day so far. I don't know how you guys are doing, but not by much. All right, this thing is going bullish, so that's great. So let's take a look at some of the bullish levels here that I have. I have a target of 393.50. That's really important. As far as resistance goes, 394.20 is a resistance level. 394.88 is another one. 396.11 is a resistance level. That would be ridiculous today if we got that. It's down 16% in this trade. Not cool. Okay. That is a red candle. So that should help start our movement downwards. Let's see what happens though, because it's still premature to enter. So if you have not entered a trade, it is really close, but not quite. All right. So this is the normal spot where I would enter, but I would wait until after this candle fully forms, which it did. Okay, so now this is, in my opinion, a good put option. Let's see what happens though. And you would get a much better average than I did if you entered the one I entered was and had the highest volume, and it's the reason why I entered, and was a SPY put at 390, expiring on 319. I like to give myself some time. I don't, there's options expiring today, and those are just way too risky for me. So, call me paranoid. Corey, yes. How do I look at the 10-year and 30-year? So I like to look at CNN Business, and I use CNN Business for that, their main pre-market page. And so if you just Google CNN Business pre-market, or I can send you a link in the Discord later. That's what I like to look at. And it's towards the bottom of the page. It says bond and interest rates, and it kind of shows what it was yesterday and then where it's at today. And yesterday, the 30-year was at 2.28%. Today, it's at 2.37%. So that is pretty sizable. The 10-year, 1.52%. Today, it's at 1.61%. So that is... It's very, very typically telling for the market. All right, Andrew. Let's see if this thing works out. Usually, hopefully it's not just a quick pullback, but and what's key, the key time frame is after the market's been open an hour on a put, because I see it all the time at 9:30. That's Central Time. It just starts to go down, big time. So I want everyone here to hold me accountable. Don't enter a trade in the first 10 minutes. Just don't do it. Because I would have been safe. If I refused to enter in the first 10 minutes, I would have been safe. Because after these two green candles, everything was green again. And I wouldn't have entered. Market's fighting. All right, well, let's go through some of our other plays and see how they're doing. INSEE down 1.77%. Wendy's up 1.48. PH Parker Hamilton up 0.94. NTAP barely down at 0.10. So NTAP at 0.10, 0.15 down. Snow is down 2.58%. EVFM down 2%. Apron down 3%. Walmart up 0.56. Microsoft down 0.79. It's actually with the bad news that they got this morning. Yeah, this thing just wants to go up. Man. Well, we will be patient. See how this thing works. Just broke again. And I don't want to sell prior to that, prior to the event that happens after the market's been open an hour, especially on a put. So being that I'm this far down, and I use about 2% of my portfolio for just this reason. And I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait it out until that time at least, because that is really common to see that. All right, some of our other plays, PDUFA plays, and ANVS down 1%, KNSA down 4%. Oof, that's not good. Blue down 0.87, and ATXI down 2%. Okay. I would not on an option. I'm planning on a day trade, so I do not plan on holding this through the weekend. I just don't think, I just have not had luck in doing that. This is really interesting that it's moving like this. My order to sell PH has just initiated at 311.55. 311.55. Let's see what my cost was in PH. 297.10. 4.86% gain. Well, we'll take that. All right. The book is closed on PH. I'm having to set up these limit cells prior to doing these streams because it's hard to look for an exit point on a stock when you're watching a day trade for sure. All right. Now it's starting to act like I expected. This is a nice candle going downwards. Starting to show a little bit more price weakness here. Getting that third candle is a big deal. And breaking a new low of 391.47 is also a big deal for the put option, because then that pushes it down further. 389.50 is my target for this. So Freight Max, did the chairman speak again? Oh gosh, it's every Friday. He said no rate change. Oh gosh. Okay, well, that explains it. There had to be a catalyst of some sort going on here. I would exit, but I am rather confident that that 9:30 time frame is going to yield better returns, so I am in it till then. So let's just open this up as a Q&A. If any of you have any questions, man, I'm an open book. I'll do my best to answer them, and we'll just watch this thing. Usually Powell says something stupid. So usually the sentiment is bad when Powell talks. I think a lot of that has to do with is that he does a lot of his press releases on Fridays, and investors are nervous about holding stocks through the weekend, and so Fridays are a mixed bag for sure. And is it Lance or Lance Miller or Lance Miller? I want to make sure and say that right. Yeah, I mean, there's another dip that happens at lunchtime that is very significant, and it's a thing. And typically it lasts until 1 o'clock, maybe 1:30, and there's a dip that just kind of happens, and then power hour sometimes can be all the way to 1:30. This thing is starting to wick down here. That's an interesting move there. If we break VWAP downward, then it is a slippery slope. That is for sure. So yeah, to answer that, I would hold for a lunchtime dip, definitely. I mean, but if I'm in a winning trade and it forms its dip and then looks like it's going back upwards and out of it, then I would consider selling out of it. Even if it was winning at just a couple percentage points, I would do that. All right, thanks, Lance. Sorry about that. Okay. Very, very possible. Very, very possible that that traders find it attractive when they see a big dip, thinking that the market's going to go much higher. But typically, again, with the Elliott wave, typically what we see, and the reason why Elliott wave works is because of herd mentality. And looking at this, we should see it dip eventually down to 388 and then go much higher. That is what typically happens. Now, that's just based on the past, but that's typically how it works. And we fully formed that C wave, and I think that we should be heading higher now, especially now that we've had new all-time highs. Draw anything. That is absolutely fantastic. I love that. 434%. That is wonderful. Very, very good. Lance, your parents didn't notice how to spell. Yeah. I'm lucky that Ray is just easy to spell, but it's actually Raymond. But okay. Corey, VWAP is not the same thing as VWAP is not the same thing as the MACD. The MACD is two different moving averages and its relationship to one another and forming a trade thesis on it. So like this would be a time to enter if you were bearish going all the way down, and you would still be in it based on the MACD. So no, it's not the same thing. VWAP stands for volume weight average price, and a lot of times in the mornings when I do my watch list, it is based upon the upper echelon of that VWAP. So if you in Thinkorswim, if you add VWAP, I am looking. The resistance typically breaks at that point, and if you can get above that, then it's off to the moon. Well, this trade's starting to work. Still down in it. That's key right there. Oh, will it hold though? So Here is a key level. It's either going to bounce off of this level or it's going to continue much further down. So we're at 9:15. Man, I entered this thing too soon. What a bummer. Currently, I'm down 11% in this trade. Those who entered later are probably doing much, much better than that. So it is bouncing off of VWAP here. We'll have to see if that holds or if it breaks through and goes lower. The volume isn't as heavy as it typically is on the SPY today. NTAP is all over the place, down 0.94 this morning. And yeah, there's another break of VWAP. Okay, so traders get really, really scared when a stock passes below VWAP. Okay. Down 10% in this thing. 392.15. Let's take a look and see where we're at for our levels on that and why that's important. 392.97 is the pivot point. So now that it's passed below that, interesting. So now it's way below that. Interesting. Okay, so support 1, 392.29. We just broke support 1. Because it went all the way down to 391.99. And you can watch those levels. I tell you, these levels are, they're like clockwork. You can see where people have set up buys and where big hedge funds and big money set up a buy at right at resistance or right at support 1 to try to buy it at a good deal. So there's typically a lot of orders open at those price ranges. Sorry, give me a second. I'm selling a stock. Trying to look for an exit point here on NTAP. I just sold for 67.53. Excuse me, that was 67.23. Let's figure out what that percentage was. My cost in NTAP, 65.59. Okay, so I sold NTAP for a 2.5% gain. 2.50. All right, so sold and tapped. So that's all the stocks I was looking to move out of today. If Wendy's moves upwards, then that might be a good one to get out of. Up 1%. I'll wait. That is such a good value right now. So is Snow. Both of those are just a terrific value. All right, so this trade is really starting to work now. Starting to work really, really well. And so we got a new low of 391.99. Liking that. S2 is 391.06. We are a long ways from S2. So hopefully you're all starting to make some money on this trade. I entered way too early. I'm down 8% now, so getting better. Oh boy. And if we break support 3 at 390.38, it is look out below. It is going to go way down from there. So 391.06 is support 2. And then my bearish 389.50 is my goal for this stock, for this option. Okay, so I am planning on staying on until right around, I'll stay on till 9:45 and just kind of watch this trade. I mean, and kind of see what happens here. Yeah, this is what I felt would happen today. It's unfortunate, but it's unfortunate for my other positions, but this is just something that these 5 steps work. News, Elliott Wave, 10-year, 30-year price volume indicator. 1 and 5 were bullish, but 2, 3, and 4 were bearish. And those are the toughest days, is to when you're 3 out of 5, because it's not a strong conviction. Definitely love a 5 out of 5. You know, those are always the best. But you just don't get them all the time. It's just how it works. The only reason I haven't taken an option call on Microsoft is I actually planned on it. So the insider activity happened last night. This morning they had bad news. I don't know if you saw, but Microsoft had kind of a bad report talking about how they needed to update, how everyone needs to update their systems on it because they're dealing with cyber attacks and some things of that nature. And so that paired with, I didn't know how the market would react today. I think that Microsoft calls will be a brilliant move, but probably late in the day. And so I'm just waiting and I'm just being patient. But I do plan on buying some Microsoft calls. That's actually a premium call out. But I'm sharing it with whoever's on this call, whether you're premium or standard, as a little bonus. So Meatloaf only needed 2 out of 3. Very true. Very true. So, yeah, I mean, with call options, you really want to be paying attention to the overall market conditions. And I believe that they are bullish, but, to take a look at it as a daily, on the daily, and then take a look at it on the bigger time frames too, and smaller time frames, and really learn how to do that. And so it helps me to make decisions. I mean, no one knows where a stock is going. No one knows exactly how the market's going to move. So we just try to find indicators to help us to be successful. So I really think today's going to play out like this. And I don't know everything, but here's what I think. I think the market is going to dip until we get to around 1:30, about an hour and a half before close. Now I'm talking Central Time, depending upon where you're at. You got to, but an hour and a half before close. And then I think that the market will be like, wait a second, we're supposed to be bullish. And it will turn upwards. So it'll be interesting to see how that happens. And I think that the market ends on a high of the day. And which is great for continuation going into Monday. I'm actually bullish looking at the long term. I believe that we've had that dip, that full market correction, that full C wave of the Elliott wave pullback. And now we'll enter into a bullish phase where we have 5 different waves moving upwards in different time frames, but that we start to move upwards from that. It was a big deal yesterday to hit the levels and new all-time highs like we did. So this is really starting to move down. 391.34 is where it's at. The support too is 391.06. So that is the next important level. My goal is 389.50. That is my goal for this trade, looking at levels. And I'm also paying attention to this because if it crosses back over and goes positive, then I'll be looking to sell at that point. But isn't it interesting? Around 9:30, we're starting to see this start to work, and this is just really typical. It's going to be normal for it to bounce here because on the RSI we passed below 30. That is not good. All right, so now I'm break even on this trade. Finally. Andrew, wonderful. Yeah, get back to work. Have a wonderful day, and glad you joined us. So 391.28 is where it bounced. 391.06 is support 2. This is usually where stop losses start to get triggered. We are at 9:30, or an hour after open. Okay. All right. It's like I'm torn when I'm in a put. I don't know if you're that way. It's like I want the market to do great, but I know that pullbacks. I know I've just been through this so many times, and this looks like this is going to be a successful trade. But I'm going to go ahead and now we got another 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. I'll stay with you here, and we'll see how this works. It looks like there's 11 of you that are joined in here. So you got me almost all to yourself. If you have any questions. $389.50. That is my goal. I do not think it will go lower than $389.50. I think that will be as low as it gets. Down 1.5% so far today. That's no fun. All right, interesting. So now, looks like here, but VWAP is really, really important. Let me just kind of, I'm gonna draw a trend line here from where we're at. Okay. Select a color that really stands out. Yellow. That is the trend line right there. $389.50. $391.96. Support 2. We are in between support 1 and support 2. $392.29 is support 1. So I am staying in because of the time of day. I know this has had a cross, but I think that this trade is going to be worth it. It's going to be good. I haven't broken our trend line. Actually, that trend line might be a little high. Let's take this and let's move it. Yeah, it's right there. Trading below VWAP, I mean, it's going to head the direction there. All right. Draw anything. Do you think the hedge funds screwed themselves, doubled down on GME options? You know, I have not been paying attention to the whole GameStop thing. I've just been kind of working on other things, but I mean, it makes sense to short GameStop. These levels are ridiculous. So hedge funds have big money and they are patient. So I think that I still think that GameStop is just too high. So I hate to agree with them. I just don't see the value in the company. And yeah, it's getting pushed up. Man, is it getting squeezed today. Up 12.6%. $292 for it. Maybe they did. I don't know on that one. But wow. Yeah. Interesting. I hadn't looked at it in a while. I really think that GameStop is worth maybe a $40 a share stock, maybe. I am just blown away at these levels. So, too hard for me to predict, so I'm out of it. But there's definitely opportunities there. That's fantastic that you're up 14K. You're on 14K on GME or on oh, you got in at $49. You're probably talking about GME. That is fantastic news. Yeah, I would ride this. I would set your candles to like 5 minutes and yeah, I'd ride this out. Very good trade. That's awesome. Congratulations. Those are fantastic when you can do that. So what? That's 6 times your money? 600% gains? That's pretty strong. Don't know when to get out. Well, I could give you my opinion. Let me let's take a look at good old GME. Okay, so that's the 1 minute. I'll probably go to the 30. Okay, so if you're thinking short term, I would go to the 5 minute, and when I would set up your VWAP, or your MACD, excuse me. I would set up your MACD, and I would wait till this thing dipped below VWAP, would be an indicator to sell. VWAP is going to move up with the stock. The other thing, if you wanted to be more aggressive, if you're not thinking it's going to go much higher, I don't know how much higher it's going to go than $300, but I've been so wrong on this. This is a very tough stock to know. But if it were me, I would set it up on the 5 minute, and I would, at this point, I would watch that, and I would watch when you have your first red bar that completes, I would sell. That's what I would do. So I would, that's totally how 500, and you're just going to have to be fine with exiting whenever you exit. But the numbers, if I would follow the numbers on something like this and not trust myself to make that decision, and just base it on the numbers and then be okay with it. So yeah, here's what I would look for. I would look for that to cross, and I would do it on the 5 minute. And that's how sensitive I would make it. All right, back to SPY. What's going on over here? All right, 1 minute. 392.14. We're at 940. 392.14 still has not surpassed resistance. Okay. Okay, so currently I am down 12% in this trade. I'm gonna stay in because I'm not happy with my returns, and I do believe it's going to dip. I have pretty high conviction on this one, so I'll wait it out, and I wish you all the best with your trading today. I of course hope that this will move upwards for the rest of my portfolio, which is much larger than just my day trade. But hopefully you make money on this and that you entered in at the right time. I see that Andrew did, and I wish you all the best. And anyway, Raythoven out. Good.